Hello everybody and welcome to my channel. I'm Christine. I'm glad you're here. Welcome from scientific Berlin. Maybe you've seen the title. We're going to talk about Hun Science again. One of my favorite topics, besides MLM top fails videos. I collected a good amount of content and I have an entire folder full with Hun Science video. I'm going to react and I'm going to make this a series because I think it is really fun. Today I want to start this series, although I have one video up on the channel already where I reacted to a Monat rep who tried to explain us why your hair is not falling out but it's shedding, and that's a good thing because Monat products could never do anything harmful to your head, of course. So this is part 1 of Hun Science on my channel. But it is not the first Hun Science video I did. I'm going to show you 3 different videos. We're going to talk about the content. Since I'm not a scientist myself, I invited somebody to take a look at the experiments as well, to give their 2 senses. It is somebody who doesn't necessarily want to disclose where they're working, but they're working as a scientist for a scientific advisory board. And I thought if the person has a lot of scientific insights, I'm here for it. The more support, the better. Let's go right into the video and let's go all the way to Australia, where the Huns have also caught up and are jumping on the Hun Science trend. Thank you to the person who sent me this content. It is much appreciated. Let's take a look and then talk about it. This is somebody who's from Monat, Australia, and she has this up on her Instagram, a little experiment with hair oil versus regular hair serums oils. I think you will be as amazed as me. No more putting plastics and flammable products on your scalp. Use something that will deliver the nutrients to the scalp and hair without coating it. With Abyssian oil, it's going to help prevent hair breakage and strengthen the hair from the roots. That already sounds interesting because who wants to put their hair on fire when they're using a hair oil, and who wants to put plastic on their head when they want to use a hair oil? Let's watch.
What I want to show you is the difference between why we're so passionate about the Rejuvenate oil, why it's in all of our products, and how it helps balance your scalp and why it's different. So I'm going to, this is all I had left in the back of my cupboards in the salon. So I'm comparing it to these. So this is Exquisite Oil, Tamanu oil blend. It's a strengthening treatment. It's a smoothing treatment. This is Biolage. So this is a professional salon one. This one is John Frieda Frizz Ease Original Serum. Tamed frizz protects against heat. So I am going to be using all 3 of these on a hair straightener to show you what the heat does differently between these and these on the hair and why these coat and make your hair more damaged. So I'm actually a little scared to put it on the plates of my straightener, and you will be able to see that I'm going to be doing them all at the same temperature, which is I'm just going to do it at 180 because that's what I styled my hair on because my hair is fine, but some of you with thicker hair might do 220, and we're going to see what they do. So I guess we'll start with the Biolage. Like I said, this is Salon brand. I can't read half of the ingredients that are in there. Feel free to screenshot. But we're going to put 1 drop on here. Can you see it? Yes. Oh, it's already, I didn't even have to squeeze it. Can you see that? It's like literally melted away and put a coating on the plate, like straight away. That's insane. I'm going to try and wipe that off. So it is coming off, but you can see that there's like residue left on there. So that is getting kind of burnt onto your hair, right? It's like a plastic. That's basically what's in here. All right, so Frizzies. Oh, so this one's thicker. This is definitely a thicker product. You can see like all of the steam. Can you see that? Yes, you can. All of that coming off. It's already starting to go plasticky. Oh shit. I couldn't, can you hear this? It's like getting stuck. I've never tried this before. All right, so that one, same thing, but this one's more tacky and sticky, and it's still coating and it's like burning on there. You can see the leftover as I rub it. That's not tissue, that's leftover. All right, so Rejuvenique oil. Just need 2 hands. Okay. I'm gonna put just as much on there. I'm just gonna wait and see.
Pricey.
So it's not doing, oh, I can't even move it. Hold on, I'm gonna put tissue because it's really liquid and it's not burning. You can't see any steam. Can you see how much I've got on there? Like I put like 4 drops. Oh, pouring it off. All right, still there. Can you see it? All right. No steam, no stick, no residue, just the same oil. And I'm just gonna wipe again and it all comes off. I'm so glad. So, oh, and you can still see it's on 180. So what you're basically putting on your scalp, we're so quick to just dismiss the fact that we put so many chemicals on our body. And I can say that because that was me, still is me in some areas, but not with this. So anyway, that's my little experiment. If you're using Moroccan oils and all of these different things in your hair, I urge you to just make a start. Just try a switch with this and see if it changes your scalp. The pH of your scalp, it's going to get the blood flow to your scalp better. It's going to nourish those follicles. I've said it plenty of times before, but that's where your hair health starts, and then the rest can follow from there. So that's what I wanted to have a play with. See you later.
So this is the first experiment. Somebody from the multi-level marketing company Monat put 3 different types of hair products onto a straightener and took a look whether they were burning or steaming or not. The Rejuvenique oil did not, and she had a product from John Frieda Fresies and a hair serum. And from some of the products, you could see that there was steam on those. And from others, like Monat, you saw that there was no steam. And the 2 first products were coating the plates, and Monat was not, although all of these were also easily wiped off. Since I'm not a scientist myself, I invited my friend Mona, who is working for a non-disclosed advisory board in this industry, and I wanted to get her idea on these Hun Science experiments. Since she looks like she's a professional in this field, I thought she might be very helpful to give us some insights. So I would suggest we're going to listen to her first, and then I'm going to give my 2 cents. Hey, Mona. I really like body lotion. I have one that is really, really awesome. It is not that hydrating, but it smells like rose. That is really awesome. But after the shower, I like to use a baby oil because it locks the moisture into my skin. Because I have really dry skin, and this is really nice, but it doesn't smell as nice as the rose one. Just really confusing. And then I have one that is really awesome because it is so glittery. And I look like a fairy. Yay! I love all of these 3 products. I couldn't decide which one is better. But they're all completely different. I mean, they're all for the body, but they're all somehow different. Sorry, what was the question? Yeah. Sorry about that. I thought that would go differently, but then I suppose I just have to do the job for Mona. Why do you rub 3 different kinds of products onto your body? You cannot compare these, girl. Oh, light bulb moment. Thanks, Mona. Much appreciated. This oily experiment was rather interesting, for sure, because first and foremost, just because you put a product onto a hot plate, from a hair straightener or from a curling iron, doesn't mean that it will exemplify what it does to your hair. Because ceramic plates, or those plates from hot tools, they're not the same structure as your hair. So that in itself is already a comparison that doesn't work out. This was an experiment with a hot tool and products, but without hair. So that in itself is already a strange setup, but then again, thanks to Mona, she compared 3 completely different products, which doesn't make sense. If you want to make a scientific experiment, you need at least to make sure that you compare the same type of product. Monat's Rejuvenique oil is an oil, but the other products were not. Thank you once again to the person who sent me this video, and they also provided some more in-depth information from a hairdresser friend of theirs who is located in Australia as well, in case I didn't have access to these products. I actually do, and I'm also quite familiar with frizzies from John Frieda because your girl has got some frizz going on. And while I agree that the products don't necessarily do the very, very best job when it comes to John Frieda in my experience, they're not comparable to hair oils. Let's take a closer look at this. The first product she's testing out is a Biolage oil. It is a leave-in product which replenishes and hydrates. It's a serum though, so it is for instant sheen, nourishment, and control. It is not to be used as a heat protectant and not as a scalp treatment. It is not a heat protectant, and that is why it very likely steams when it's on a hot plate. The professional hairstylist from Australia added to that Biolage oil is a leave-in. It's not designed for the scalp. It is not a heat protectant. There are no heat protect qualities in it, hence the steam. That is product number one. Then the second one was John Frieda's Frizzies. I do have those products as well. And she used the John Frieda Frizzies Original Serum. The John Frieda Frizzies products are designed to eliminate frizz, and it also claims on the package that it has a heat protectant. It is a supermarket product, or you can get that at the drugstore, and it has sulfates and silicones. That is why there is some residue in the hot plates and also some excess steam. But once again, it is not designed, although it has heat protectant qualities, it is not designed to be used as a heat protectant before you style your hair, before you straighten your hair, or before you curl your hair. It is also not designed to be massaged into your scalp either. These two products are thicker, they're not designed to be used on the scalp, and they would look greasy and have residue. The feedback from the professional hairstylist was, second, John Frieda Frizzies is a supermarket product, high in sulfates and silicone. That is why it had a residue and excess steam. It is also not a heat protectant. Neither of those products are designed to be massaged into the scalp at all. This is why they're thicker. Imagine if you used a thicker product like that on the scalp. It would look greasy and have residue. And then she used Monat's bestseller, which is their Rejuvenique oil, a pricey oil, $90 and upwards, depending on whether you are a VIP customer, whether you are a rep in the company, or whether you are an external customer. It's a pricey baby, let's just say it like this. It is a hair oil, which is designed for the scalp. You can massage it into the scalp, and it has hydrating hair treatment qualities. It is also a finishing treatment, so once your hair is done and styled, you can rub the oil into your ends and it will give you a bit more smoothness, a bit more shine, and a bit more hydration. You can also use it to do like an oil treatment and then wash it out. There are various ways you can use a hair oil, but that is not exclusive to this overpriced Rejuvenique oil. The hairstylist said about the Rejuvenique oil, it is obviously a finer particle, otherwise it too would leave residue and a greasy look. So comparing those products that are certainly made to do different things makes zero sense. Absolutely, it doesn't make sense to compare those products. If you want to do some sort of experiment, you need to use at least products that are in the same category. These products are not comparable, and therefore this experiment is also non-valid. It would be like comparing an apple, a grape, and an egg and say they're different. Yeah, they are. In addition to that, Monat's Rejuvenique oil is a hair oil, so it is also not a heat protectant. It is not a product that you're supposed to use when it is wet, rub that onto your hair, and then right away straighten your hair. You're also not supposed to use it on your hair when your hair is dry and then straighten it. It is a hair oil that can help you to have smoother hair, more hydrated hair. It can be nice as a scalp massage, but that doesn't mean that it is a heat protectant, because it is not. It is just a hair oil. I use a hair oil from the brand Kind of Rosy. I really like it. It's a great product. It is shipped within Europe. This is not sponsored. The person doesn't know that I'm talking about the product. I just really, really like it. And I like to use it as well to do a hair treatment every once in a while. Then I wash it out. I don't necessarily use it on my body because there are less pricey oil options to do so, but you can rub it on your face, you can rub it on your body if you want to, and you can also use it as a finisher on your hair. Like other hair oils, it is not a heat protectant. So it is not advisable to use it on your hair and then to straighten your hair afterwards. But since we already have this nonsensical experiment, I thought I'm going to do the same. This is me redoing the experiment with my trusted oldie but goodie GHD hair straightener, and then that's the hair oil, kind of rosy, putting it onto the hair tool. It's already hot. Hot, hot, hot. And let's see what's happening there. No steam. I cannot see any steam. Yeah, it's hot. Be careful. Leaving it on there for a good amount of time. No steam. No steam. And also no residue. It is still oily. It was really easy to wipe it off. Great camera angle. Doing a good job. No residue. You can see it. This hair oil also didn't burn. But just to be thorough, I wanted to do it again. I wanted to use more product and I wanted to leave it on a little bit longer. Yes. Using 2 drops. By far, far, far not as pricey as that pricey experiment with Rejuvenate oil. I felt sorry for her when she put all of that pricey oil onto the hair tool. So lots of oil, leaving it on there for a good bit. No steam. Wow. Could it be that some hair oils don't steam? Could it be they don't leave residue in a hair straightener? Not that that is interesting in any way, shape, or form, in my opinion, because you're not supposed to use it on your hair and then straighten your hair afterwards. And also because hot plates are not hair, but yeah. You're doing a good job, Christine. You're doing a good job. And that's my Monat sock stance. Ta-da! So look at that. My product that I used that is actually comparable to a hair oil because it is a hair oil also didn't leave any plastic and any toxicity and any flammable ingredients on the hot plate. I don't know what that proves. It doesn't prove much, except that it's a hair oil, and I personally like it. And it doesn't burn when you put it on a hot plate, but good job. The next Hun Science videos include the oily MLMs. Let's take a look at what doTERRA oils can do for you. That is not exclusive though to doTERRA. Young Living Huns also have these videos up on their social media, so let's take a look here as well. Okay, I think you get the gist. These are the oily Huns. And they're using doTERRA and Young Living essential oils in lemon to remove those little rubber bands from their children's hair. They're putting that on the rubber band, and then the rubber band snaps and it's easier to take out rather than to pull that out of the little girl's hair. They both used essential oil in lemon, so I think it's a good way to compare this or to compare these experiments better than the first one for sure. But let's hear what Mona has to say. Hopefully she can guide us through this mystery as well. I am awesome, I am smart, I'm a scientist. scientist for an unnamed MLM. I am awesome, I am awesome, I am pretty and I love my hair. Sorry about that. I will have to talk to her for the next installment of Hun Science. Or talk to somebody else. I found this Hun Science experiment actually quite practical. If you ever have a hairdo where you have those little rubbery bands, you know that it is going to be very difficult to take those out of your head, so this can be quite useful. I'm not always sure if it is such a smart idea to do that on your children when you use lemon essential oils, because they're going to be very potent. Essential oils in general are very potent. Because it's a lemon oil, they're also high in acidity, and that is why they're able to resolve those rubbery bands. Let's take a look at doterra's website. Let's take a look at Young Living's website to see what they advise their essential oils can do. It was both times the citrus oil, so let's take a look at doterra first. They're having the citrus oil, 15 milliliter, for 17 euros. I was on the German website from doterra, and here they said that lemon is pretty much one of their best sellers. It is one of their most sold essential oils. It has lots of advantages, lots of ways to use this. You can also put this into your food, which I disagree with, to ingest essential oils. I actually have a deep dive on Young Living where I speak more in depth about this. I will link it down below if you want to take a look. It can be very dangerous to ingest essential oils. Please just use them outside of your body. But here they're advising that you can put that into your food if you want the desserts to be more intense. And lemon has an energizing aroma. They're also advising that you can give a little bit of lemon into your water and it will be more refreshing. And an alternative to lemonades and sugary drinks. Why not just use water and put a bit of lemon or lime in there? And then they're having some information to use this safely. You're only supposed to use this watered down, not more than 1 drop per day. Keep out of the reach of children. Keep away from the eyes, and if there is contact with the skin, at least 12 hours after you had contact with the essential oil, you should avoid sunlight and UV rays. And then when we go to Young Living's website, they also have an essential oil in lemon. You can create a lemon oil and do that as a part of your evening beauty routine. If you use 1 to 2 drops of this product with your favorite beauty products, it is supposed to do wonders for you. You can use it in a diffuser. You can use it at work, at school. Who uses that at a school? I mean, come on. You can use it in your kitchen. You can use it in your living room. They're pretty much telling you all the rooms where you can use it. They're also stating that lemon oil has a happy and sweet aroma, that you can diffuse it into your entire home. And then they're also saying if you want to use it onto your skin, water down 1 drop with 1 drop of olive oil or a carrier oil and use it on the body part that you want to use it to. And then they're also advising to use it out of the reach of children. And Young Living is actually advising to not use this internally. Interesting. Lemons and lemon oil in itself is already very, very potent. And as they also state on their website, you should keep them out of the reach of children and you should not use it directly on your scalp. So that is the first concern I would have. Be careful about this. If you use this, I get it. It's practical. It could also be fun to watch these little thingies snap. But if you use that on children, be very careful because if you put it onto the hair, it might also get onto the scalp. And children are more prone to poisoning from essential oils. That, of course, is true first and foremost if you ingest these, but still be careful. If this gets onto your skin, if it is not diluted, if you don't use a carrier oil, then this might be dangerous for your kid. They might have certain irritations on their skin, and if it gets on their scalp, this could get not so fun. In addition to that, I also found a Healthline article where they spoke about lemon and the usage of lemon for hair, the potential benefits, but also the risks. In this case, they're not talking about lemon essential oils, they're talking about the actual lemon, the actual lemon juice. They're a good source of vitamin C, they can boost your immune system, reduce inflammation, so they're speaking about the advantages of adding lemon into your diet, They also say that lemons have a bleaching property, which is why they're often found in cleaning and skin care products. So lemon juice can be used to naturally lighten your hair, especially lighter hair colors, create shinier hair, reduce oil and dandruff. Then they're given examples of what you can do, what to watch out for if you want to lighten your hair. You're supposed to dilute lemon juice in water and rinse your hair with it. Mix a few drops of lemon essential oil in a carrier oil and glass of water and apply to your hair. Or they advise you to crush vitamin C tablets, add them to your shampoo for a more gradual lightening effect. Can lemon juice damage hair? Fresh lemon juice will not dry out or damage your hair. However, prolonged exposure to the sun can damage your hair, called the cuticle. For this reason, you'll want to limit the amount of time you spend in the sun after applying lemon juice to your hair. And then they also talk about the potential side effects of lemon juice because it can cause skin irritation. It may cause content reaction. So in this case, I would argue we're talking about lemon juice, and then we're talking about an essence of that as an essential oil, which I believe is more potent or potentially more potent than the actual lemon. So if you use this onto a kid's scalp, be careful. If you use it onto your own hair, if you use it on your own scalp, or if you use it to get rid of those little nasty plastics, then be careful to maybe not do that too often, to not go directly into the sun, and to make sure that you don't have contact with your skin. And especially with kids, I would be very, very careful. The last Hun Science experiment I want to show you for this video is from another Monat wrap. It is so easy. It is so easy. I can't help it. I want to switch things up, and I also have content from other MLMs when it comes to Hun Science at this point, but Monat is definitely leading in Hun Science. That's why I had to include this as well. Let's take a look at this video first, yet again. It is a rep who is experimenting with dry shampoo.
Hey guys, so today we're going to be comparing dry shampoos. So popular dry shampoos such as Dove, Batiste, and Not Your Mother's compared to Monat's dry shampoo. Now, there's going to be an obvious difference of what happens when in regards to their flammability. So the first one we're going to try is Dove's dry shampoo. I went and picked up these samples last night at Target. I would suggest, you guys probably aren't going to be able to see the flame, but you'll see what happens. So that obviously caught on fire, and that was Dove. Our next is our Batiste dry shampoo. Now, I used to use this all the time. Absolutely. I would try and use it all the time. I loved it. It would always give me a white residue. It would always make my hair feel greasier. It was just not a necessarily a good time when I would try doing it. I'd rather just wash my hair again. So, all right, so let's see what happens with our Batiste dry shampoo. And we're on fire yet again. So that is what you're putting on your hair. You're putting flammable products on your hair. If you were to be outside and God forbid a fire took place, why do you think people's hair goes up on fire when you're blowing up birthday candles? It could be from, obviously your hair's gonna go on fire regardless, but it's more flammable when it has butane and propane as the first ingredient in the product. And then this is your Not Your Mother's. There we go. Nice little fire. And now let's try Monat's. So Monat's first ingredient is erase starch, which means that you're not going to have the whiteness in your hair that you have to brush out. You're not going to have flammable hair. And it's just better for you because it's vegan anti-aging products that will actually clean your hair as opposed to putting more chemicals on top of it. All right, let's try this again. You see, like it literally just works in the house. So look, it blows it up. I'm literally putting it right on the fire and it blows it right up. That's the difference between clean and healthy products and products that you think are clean for your hair and that are not. So I'm gonna put up individual slides of all the products I use and their think dirty ingredients. So you can see that all of those start with propane, butane, things like that. This starts with rice starch. You're not gonna put your hair on fire.
Then she's going through the individual products and she's telling you why all of these products are really toxic and really horrible for you and why you should only use Monat. But the caption says, caution, flammable. Check out this experiment comparing common dry shampoo brands versus Monat dry shampoo. The top 3 main ingredients in most are butane, propane, and isobutane, which means that you're putting flammable chemicals on your hair that you would use to light a grill. These products also coat your hair with a white residue, leaving your hair dirty, flammable, and breaking. Monat dry shampoo uses rice starch as its main ingredient, which will not set your hair on fire. It also helps to freshen hair, absorb oil, condition, and add volume without the need for water. Monat dry shampoo benefits. Quick and convenient cleansing without water leaves hair feeling fresh and clean, removes oiliness at the roots, adds volume, texture, and lift, extends style on non-wash days. Then the other products shown were from Dove, Batiste, and Not Your Mother's Dry Shampoo. These are amazing. These Hun Science videos are amazing. My very first question is, why do you check the flammability of a dry shampoo? What is the desired outcome of this experiment? That is the first point. Number 2, your hair is on fire more easily when you are in a fire with a dry shampoo in your hair that has butane and propane as first ingredient. If you are in a fire, the least thing you should worry about is what dry shampoo you used, whether it had a propellant that was flammable or not, because you're in a fire and your hair will catch fire eventually. So you should remove yourself from the fire no matter what, whether you used dry shampoo at all, whether you used a flammable one, or whether you used Monat's one. So that is already tone deaf. Then she says that Monat's product is not on fire, the others are, because Monat uses rice starch as its first ingredients, doesn't leave white residue, and your hair is not flammable. Before I talk about the specifics here, let's get back to Mona. Maybe she has something valuable to add here. Mona, do you have anything to say? This is like a fog of dry shampoo. Pretty. Wow. I think I will do this part on my own again. Okay, let's make a mental note to not hire Mona again for the next video. Now, adding to this, from my non-scientific perspective, to the things the lady in the video said, not Mona, the one doing the experiment, said that your hair is more easily on fire when you use a dry shampoo in your hair that has butane or propane as its first ingredients. I beg to differ, because no, if your hair will catch on fire because you're on fire, it's because it's flammable on its own. And like I said before, your least worry in a situation like this, where it's really, really severe, is whether you used a dry shampoo that is flammable or not. Your hair is flammable, so you should stay away from open fire and not throw yourself into an open fire anyways, whether you blow out a candle while wearing a dry shampoo or not. That in itself already doesn't make any sense. I would have loved for Mona to explain this, but I guess we're not getting there. Then she said that Monat's first ingredients in its dry shampoo is rice starch. That is why it's not flammable, it doesn't leave a white residue, and it carries no cancer risk because it carries no fragrance. Speaking of fear-mongering, in order to talk about this, let's go to Monat's own website, let's talk about the dry shampoo, how you're supposed to use it, and what it allegedly does. This dry shampoo uses microfiber rice starch to absorb oil so you can extend your style on non-shampoo days. Sounds like a regular dry shampoo. You're supposed to use it in between washes so that you can extend the period of time until you wash your hair. Doesn't sound like it's super special here. Features, according to the website, are it absorbs oils at the roots, adds volume and texture. Typical, in my opinion, for all of the dry shampoos that I've myself used so far. Fragrance. Fragrance features a sun-kissed citrus fragrance with spring florals like jasmine and rose mixed with mandarin and orange. And then we see the directions. Shake well before you use it. Spray evenly 10 to 12 inches away from your hair. Focus on the roots. Let dry for 1 to 2 minutes. And then when we take a look at the ingredients list, it also states that it has fragrance. Monat alleges that their fragrance is natural, but it is not true that Monat dry shampoo doesn't carry any fragrance and therefore reduces cancer risk. So that statement from the rep in the video is also absolutely not true, and it is nonsensical. And when we take a look at this rice starch claim, I need to pull out my glasses again. Let's take a more in-depth look at the ingredients list. Rice starch, according to Monat's own website, is not the first ingredients on the list. Rice starch is the third product on the ingredients list, and it is the actual product that is designed to soak up the hair oils, the product that is supposed to prolong the period of time between washes for you. But let's take a look at the other two. What are they doing there if rice starch is, according to this Hun, the most predominant ingredients, which, according to Monat's own website, it is not. The first one is tetrafluoropropane. Cannot even pronounce it. Great sign. Which is a chemical compound, a colorless gas. So you mean there are chemicals in this product? What is this? It is used as a blowing agent for foam and aerosol application. So for dry shampoos. This is an aerosol, it is in a can, you need to shake it up, and then this product is designed to push out the actual product that is supposed to get rid of the oils on your head, in this case the rice starch. That is the first ingredients on Monat's very own list. Then the second ingredient is alcohol denate. It's a preservative that can help with binding of oils, inhibit a product's inherent smell. Ooh, okay. So Monat's dry shampoo uses a non-flammable propellant that is designed to push the actual product out of the container onto your scalp and onto your hair. That is the very first ingredients in Monat's dry shampoo. What the Hun in the experiment was referring to was that the most used propellants, they're butane and isobutane and propane, and they are flammable. Monat's dry shampoo and also the other ones that she was using, they're all aerosols. So they're all in a can, and they only can release the actual product, in this case, from Monat, it is rice starch, to soak up the oils on your head if there is an additional ingredient that pushes the product that is supposed to do the soaking of the oils out of the can. That is not exclusive to Monat, that is typical for all products that are in aerosol form. I typically use this one. It's the Got2b Trockenwäsche. It's a dry shampoo. I like the scent. I picked up another one because it says extra fresh. It is the same system, but some of these have the flammable icon on the back so that you know that there is a product included that is flammable. And like she said, it is the propellant. So in this case, butane, isobutane, or propane. But Monat works the very same way. Monat also has a propellant to push the product out of the can, but Monat's propellant is not flammable. That is the only difference. I will pop up some information on the screen as well, just quickly how aerosols work so that we can solve this mystery. You can see a picture on the right side of an aerosol and it explains how it works. As pictured, the product is dissolved or suspended in a liquid solvent. A liquefied gas is usually used as a propellant, as is the case with Monat as well. In a typical aerosol, some of the propellant exists as a gas under pressure above the product. This gas pushes down on the liquid, forcing it up through the dip tube and out the valve when it is opened. The liquid is a mixture of product and liquefied gas. As it is released, the gas evaporates from the liquid in the container, causing constant performance and pressure within the aerosol. When the liquid mixture is released from the aerosol, the liquid propellant becomes a gas and helps break up the product into a fine mist. In foams like mousse and aftershave, the liquid gas forms bubbles, making the product expand as it is released from the aerosol. The amount of propellant in aerosols differs depending on the product. For example, for fine mists, a larger amount is used than in foams. That means that the liquid in the product is designed to push the actual product that will land on your head, that you're then going to either massage into your scalp or leave onto your scalp, out of the can. Pushes the liquid out of the dip tube. The liquid is a mixture of product and liquefied gas as it is released from the aerosol. The liquid propellant becomes a gas, helps to break the product into a fine mist, and evaporates. That is also why these products, like dry shampoos, are supposed to be used in an aired room for the gas to evaporate quicker. And the same is true for Monat, because Monat's dry shampoo also is an aerosol and it also needs a propellant to push the product out. So maybe don't do that in a little chamber. Monat uses the same principle, and its dry shampoo is not better and it's not safer because the propellant used to release the product is not flammable. That is not a relevant point. It doesn't mean that Monat's products are better or they're cleaner. Unless you do your hair every morning with dry shampoo close to an open fire, then you might want to watch out whether the propellant in your dry shampoo is flammable or not. But if you do your hair every morning close to a fire using dry shampoo, then I would say you have other issues. In addition, she also says that some of the products left a white cast on her scalp. I have gone to venture into the Got2b dry shampoo because I really like them because they're really nicely and freshly scented. But I have also used Batiste dry shampoo for years, and it depends what kind of product you use. And some of those have left white residue on my head and others haven't. They also have tinted versions. I'm personally not a fan of those because those will for sure leave a certain residue on your head. But you're also supposed to massage the dry shampoo into your scalp. That is when the propellant has evaporated. It's not there anymore. So it's really just the product that is on your head. You're supposed to massage it into your head. You're supposed to brush through it or blow dry it. So if you have white residue on your hair, of course, play around with different types of product, but you're supposed to work on that no matter what. And that leads me back to my original question. Why do you use dry shampoo like a flamethrower when you already know that the propellant in them are flammable? You've proven they're flammable. That is great. But that doesn't mean that your hair will be on fire more easily. And it doesn't mean that you don't have to watch out for your hair when you are actually in a fire. That is dumb. That doesn't make any sense to me whatsoever. It is just a very showy way to present for the Huns that the Monat products are better than others. But if you take a closer look, you realize that is not the case. And I also said that in the Hun Science video that is up on my channel already. I think I titled it Hun Science is Back. It reminds me very much of home shopping, of teleshopping in Germany when they started out. The experiments have to look visually interesting, but they do not need to make any sense whatsoever. But maybe our friend here from the non-disclosed scientific advisory board has some information. Mona, anything you would like to add for this last video? If you have issues with propellants in dry shampoos, whether they're flammable or not, then don't use them. Maybe your scalp is sensitive towards the propellant. In that case, do not use those, but rather alternatives. They function the very same way. It is just the technique, how you apply them to your head, that might be a little bit different, and you have to get used to that. Some, for example, are in a sifter. You put them into your hand and then you massage them onto your scalp. Or in a pump, same thing, but you're missing the propellant. Might be worth trying out if you have issues with a propellant and certain sensitivities. Thank you. That was actually good, Mona. I think I'm going to hire her again. Thanks, girl. Like Mona said, if you're sensitive to dry shampoo, it could also be not necessarily because of the actual product, but because of the propellant, because you might be sensitive. In the can, a propellant is a liquid. and when it pushes the actual product out of the can, it turns into a gas and then it evaporates. But it might still be that there is a little bit of residue here or there. And if you realize that you're sensitive towards these products, it might be the ingredients themselves, but it could also be the propellant. So if you have a feeling that you're sensitive to those, there are products you can use. In a sifter, you put them into your head, massage it onto your scalp, or in a version like this with a pump. It might be worth trying out. The system is the same. As long as you have a product that is on your scalp, that soaks up the oil, that means you were able to prolong your next hair wash. That could be really, really helpful. And if you're sensitive to certain ingredients in general, I mean, of course, pay attention to the ingredients list. I would argue you don't have to buy Monat products to do so. There are less pricier versions available that you can use. You do not need to support an overpriced MLM product, and you can still have a good hairstyle even without Monat. And you won't die because it is such a horrible, toxic, flammable product. That is fear-mongering. And the Huns do that because they don't really have an argument why their products are better than others. Because all of these claims are, in my opinion, just because the people in the company need to make their products sound so much better than they are. And there are no external studies and actual tests, actual experiments that will prove that Monat products are better than others. That was Hun Science Part 1. I have an entire folder of more stuff to come, and I really, really and truly love the installments of these experiments because they're fun to watch, they're ridiculous, it's easy to snark on them, but I also think it's a great video to give actual factual information and to not continue this fear-mongering that lots of MLM reps did. The tip with the essential oils, I found that actually quite interesting and quite good, and I don't think it is that horrible to put an essential oil onto your hair every once in a while if you want to remove those rubber bands, but be careful when it's around children. Maybe don't use that too often, and then also don't necessarily step into the sun. Make sure it doesn't get onto your skin, and I think you're good to go. And if you have a regular hair oil, congratulations, you'll survive. If you have a regular dry shampoo, congratulations, you will survive. Thank you also to the person who sent me the first Hun Science video. I really, really appreciate the support and the interest in this channel. And also thank you for reaching out to a hairdresser friend who was actually able to give more in-depth information on the first video as well. If you have any Hun Science videos you would like to share with me, please feel free to do so. I have my contact information down below. You can either DM me on Instagram or you can screenshot content, upload it to your Google Drive, and then share it with my email address that is also down below. And thank you to everybody who's interested in these videos. I am really blown away by the amount of support and interest people have in these videos. It is something that does make me very happy. It was a big surprise, but it is really, really cool. So thank you so much. My channel has grown since December a lot. As I'm filming this video, 540 people subscribe to this channel to watch these types of videos. So welcome and thank you for your support. If you like these types of videos, please consider subscribing. If you like this specific one, please give it a thumbs up. If you would like to let me know something, feel free to do that in the comment section down below. And if you like this type of video, then hopefully I will see you in my next one. Until then, cheers!